Greetings, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to this week's Watchtower summary for August 24 to 30 with the theme, Benefit from the Field Service Group Arrangement. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so, and may Jehovah bless you all. Benefit from the Field Service Group Arrangement Meeting Comment Answers 1 to 2. How do many feel about the Field Service Group Arrangement? For many of us, the Field Service Group is more than just an organizational unit. It's where our ministry really grows. Wendy mentions learning new preaching and teaching skills, being helped to set spiritual goals, and making lifelong friends, all through this arrangement. Rich, as an overseer, finds real fulfillment in helping someone make spiritual progress for years, not just up to their baptism. And Dinah put it simply, her group feels like family. 3. What will we discuss in this article? This article breaks into 3 parts. First, how the group overseer and his assistant care for the group. Then, our own role in contributing to the group's success. And finally, the spiritual, emotional, and practical benefits we personally gain from being part of one. 4. What is a group overseer's main responsibility, and how does he care for the group? A group overseer is an elder assigned to help a group of publishers make spiritual progress, and he does that in a few ways. First, he shows genuine interest by staying in contact and offering encouragement and practical help, reflecting the principle at Proverbs 27:23 about knowing well the condition of the flock. Second, he personally takes the lead in the ministry and works with each publisher for training. And third, he helps baptized brothers work toward qualifying for congregation responsibilities, in keeping with the goal Paul described at 1 Timothy 3:1-5. What challenges do some group overseers face? The article is honest about this. Jörg from Germany finds it hard just to contact everyone in his group while juggling other assignments. Abel in Uganda deals with larger groups because there aren't enough elders and ministerial servants. And Obed from Suriname admits training is often the first thing to get neglected since it takes time and the results aren't always immediate. 6. How does keeping field service groups small help group overseers to care for those in their group? When a group stays relatively small, the overseer can actually get to know everyone personally rather than just knowing names. That's really the heart of good shepherding. If a congregation doesn't have enough elders, a ministerial servant might be temporarily assigned to care for a group, rather than letting groups grow too large to manage well. 7. In congregations with few elders, what can group overseers do to ensure that all in the group are well cared for? The key here is training the assistant well. As Peter counsels at 1 Peter 5:2, elders are to shepherd the flock willingly, and an overseer can share that load by delegating, having the assistant take the lead in service sometimes, or join him on shepherding visits with guidance before and after. Over time, that assistant may even grow into serving as a group overseer himself. Other mature publishers and pioneers can help too, working with newer ones on things like starting conversations or conducting Bible studies. 8. How can we contribute to the success of our group? The simplest thing we can do is just show up. Paul talks in Romans 1:12 about being comforted through each other's faith, and that really happens when we go out in service together. If work or health makes that hard, the article encourages us to talk to our employer or our group overseer. There may be more flexibility than we think, whether that means adjusting a schedule or joining by phone or video conference. 9. How might we contribute to a warm, loving atmosphere in our field service group? Hospitality goes a long way. Romans 12:13 encourages us to practice hospitality, and that could mean opening our home for group meeting or a meal with the visiting speaker. I appreciated what Sarah said. She keeps hospitality simple and focuses on getting to know people rather than stressing over the details. It's really about building the kind of warm, family-like spirit that draws us closer to Jehovah and to each other. 10. What might we do if we want to improve in some aspect of the ministry? Proverbs 27:17 reminds us that iron sharpens iron, and that's exactly the idea here, taking the initiative to ask someone more experienced for help. Heather's experience stood out to me. Even though she was shy, she asked a pioneer for help with return visits, and that eventually led to starting a Bible study. Proverbs 1:5 also encourages the wise to keep gaining skill, so there's no shame in asking. 11-12. What spiritual benefits can you receive from the field service group arrangement? Relate and experience. Spiritually, the arrangement means those who need extra shepherding, widows, orphans, the elderly, get timely encouragement, reflecting the kind of care James 1:27 describes as true worship. We also get hands-on training in preaching and teaching, and baptized brothers get help working toward additional privileges. Wendy's experience really illustrates this. Since her father wasn't in the truth, her mother often couldn't get out in service, but Wendy went with an older pioneer sister who mentored her, and she still remembers the loving scriptural advice her group overseer gave her. 13. What are some emotional benefits that we can receive when we support our field service group? Working side by side with others in the ministry, as Philippians 1:27 puts it, naturally builds close friendships. For anyone who feels shy or anxious in bigger crowds, a small group makes it much easier to open up and connect. And those friendships matter most when hard times hit. Proverbs 17:17 reminds us that a true friend loves at all times, especially when we need it. 14. How do we benefit from our field service group during times of disaster or emergency? In an emergency, a natural disaster, illness, or financial hardship, the field service group is often the first line of practical help. Group overseers work with the congregation service committee to check on each family and assess needs like food, shelter, or medical care. It's reassuring to know this structure isn't just for the ministry, it's there for our physical care too. 15. What unites all of us in Jehovah's organization? Even though Jehovah's organization is enormous, hundreds of millions of angels in heaven, and over 9 million of us on earth, we're all united by the same goal of declaring the good news, just as Revelation 14:6-7 describes. Our small field service group is really just our personal contribution to that much bigger, worldwide work, which is exactly the spirit of Psalm 111:1, praising Jehovah with all our heart. Review questions: how do the group overseer and his assistant care for those assigned to their field service group? Together they stay in personal contact with everyone, take the lead in the ministry, and provide ongoing training, with the overseer also training his assistant so the whole group stays well cared for. What can we do to contribute to the success of our field service group? We can be present, be hospitable, and take the initiative to keep growing in the ministry ourselves. What benefits can we receive from the field service group arrangement? We gain spiritually through shepherding and training, emotionally through close friendships, and practically through help during difficult times. This week's study opens with a simple question: how do we feel about our field service group? For many, it's become far more than an organizational detail. As the article shares, one sister describes it as the place where she learned new preaching and teaching skills and made lifelong friends. A brother who serves as an overseer calls it a privilege to help someone grow spiritually for years, not just up to their baptism. And another sister sums it up beautifully. She simply views her group as family. The article unfolds in 3 parts. First, we look at the group overseer and his assistant. A group overseer is an elder assigned to help his group make spiritual progress, and he does this by staying personally in touch with each one, taking an active lead in the ministry himself, and helping baptized brothers work toward additional responsibilities. It's not always easy. Elders like Jurg, Abel, and Obed candidly share the real challenges of balancing multiple assignments, caring for larger groups, or finding time for training. The article's counsel is that when groups stay relatively small, overseers can truly get to know everyone. And where elders are few, training a capable assistant becomes key to making sure no one is overlooked. Second, the article turns to us: what can we personally do to contribute to our group's success? 3 things stand out: being present, even when work or health makes that difficult; being hospitable, following the example of those who open their homes or keep things simple as Sarah did; and taking the initiative to grow, the way Heather did when she humbly asked a pioneer for help with return visits. Finally, the article highlights the benefits we receive. Spiritually, we're shepherded and trained. Emotionally, we build close friendships that carry us through hard times, friendships Proverbs describes as loving at all times. And practically, our group becomes a lifeline during emergencies, disasters, or hardship, with overseers working alongside the congregation service committee to make sure real needs are met. The article closes with a beautiful reminder of scale. Jehovah's organization spans hundreds of millions in heaven and over 9 million of us on earth, yet we're all united in the same work of declaring the good news. Our small field service group is simply our personal share in that much bigger effort to praise Jehovah with all our heart. That wraps up this week's summary. Wishing everyone an encouraging Watchtower study this week.